This is the Season Long Podcast in support of the YouTube channel Season Long Baller. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. And what we do with our Season Long Podcast is on our YouTube channel Season Long Baller, we are playing the full 82 game schedule of the Washington Wizards on the video game NBA 2K24 through a player build, Jaymont Summerz, a point guard that we created, and that link is down in the description below. We created it on NBA 2K23, carried it on over to NBA 2K24, so we have been playing the full season. Now, this last week, the Wizards went 3-0, defeating the Rockets, the Kings, and the Raptors, and really put it on the Rockets and the Raptors. But the game we'll talk about is the Sacramento Kings. As you see, we shot 59% from the field, Kings shot 50%, and we were 40% from deep while the Kings were shooting 29%. And both teams shot 5 free throws, but we missed one, and the Kings obviously hit one more than we did. Now, every time we play the Kings, we have a problem with De'Aaron Fox. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox is a problem for more than just us. But as you see, Fox scored 34, and the Kings only had 61. Now, he shot the ball, well, he kind of shot the ball like Jaymont Summerz. Shooting just a overwhelming majority of the shots. As you see, he took 23 shots, 3 out of 9 from deep, but nobody else on the team had more than 6 shots. And Davion Mitchell was 0 for 6 from the field. So that obviously doesn't help. Sabonis was 3 out of 4. Monk was 4 out of 5. But Fox, again, taking a majority of the shots, 14 out of 23. But no one else really lit us up here. And again, the Kings only scored 61, and Fox had 34 of those. Now, for the Wizards, we only scored 15, and believe it or not, we did not shoot the ball the most in this game. That's usually the case. We usually do, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a bit. But Jordan Poole shot the ball more than we did this time, 12 times to 11. We were right there. But more of a team effort, as we almost got the double-double with 15 points and 9 assists, along with just 1 turnover to go with 15 points. Still led the Wizards in scoring, and we've led the Wizards in scoring in every game save one. Kyle Kuzma had 10 and Şengün had 10, so you had 4 Wizards in double figures, with Şengün also getting a double-double, going 10 and 10, and the Wizards got a 70-61 victory. Taking a quick look at the playoff seeding right now, the Wizards have locked in a playoff berth along with the New York Knicks. The Wizards are the 1. The Knicks right now are the 2. The Heat are the 3, who we will be talking about a lot later. The Sixers are 4. The Cavaliers 5. Bulls, Pacers, Celtics, and Raptors round out your top 9 out east. In the West, it's the Lakers who have at least clinched a play-in berth. The Warriors, Clippers, Grizzlies, Thunder, and Pelicans are your top 6, with the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Mavericks rounding out your top 9 out west. And I'm keeping an eye on the Mavericks, who have been falling, kind of been in a free fall, unlike in real life, but have kind of been in a free fall here, where at one point they were, kind of between 1 and 2 in the seeding earlier in the season, but have now fallen all the way back into the play-in berth or into the play-in tournament. And we'll see if they can get out of that. And I, of course, am looking at the Mavericks, because the Mavericks right now are the one team that beat us both times. Now, we do have the Lakers coming up. We'll talk about them too. But the Lakers beat us in LA. We'll be playing the Lakers again in DC in April. So they have an opportunity to get that season sweep too, and they are the 1 seed. So that is important. But the Mavericks have already secured that. The Timberwolves beat us as well right now in the eighth position. But we don't play the Timberwolves until I think it's the last week of the season. We'll see if they end up getting 2 victories on us as well. So let's take a look at the Wizards statistics, just the Washington Wizards. No surprise here in some of the categories, I'm sure. Summerz leading the team in scoring at 26.9 a game. That is the league's leading score. And remember, we play 6-minute quarters. And as you've heard me say several times, when Summerz comes out of the game, we are out of the game, and the game then simulates until we are put back into the game. But Summerz is also leading, as you see that number there, 20.2 minutes a game, right beside points there. But Summerz is also leading the league in minutes per game. I'm hoping that Unseld Jr. will adjust that as we get closer to the playoffs. The Wizards right now are playing well. So you want them to go into the playoffs. Right now is the 1 seed with no injuries or anything, especially to us. And we did have an injury earlier in the season. Fortunately, we didn't miss any games for that. But you would like to think that that Unseld Jr. would reduce that time. And of course, Unseld Jr. in our simulation is still the head coach, just like Alperen Şengün was acquired in a deal with the Rockets that sent Corey Kispert out west, or sent Corey Kispert to Texas, and that is why Şengün is the starting center right now, and you still see Daniel Gafford on our roster instead of being on the actual Dallas Mavericks. In rebounds, Şengün is leading the team at 6.4 a game. Some of those I know are from the Rockets. Haven't been able to figure out how we would divide those up between his Rockets numbers and his Wizards numbers, but he leads the team in rebounding at 6.4. You'll notice that our player, Jaymont Summerz, who we play as, of course, as I mentioned, is at 5.4 rebounds a game and second on the team. And Daniel Gafford, who has done some starting at the beginning of the season, he's been injured, he's come back, he's third at 4.7 rebounds. Assists per game, again, leading the league in assists. So yes, I do shoot the ball a lot, but I am sharing the sugar better than anyone else in the league at 6.1 assists per game. We won't talk about my usage rate, but my assists right now at 6.1 a game. My goal personally is to try to stay over 6, and we've got just a few more games. Hopefully I can keep my average above 6, and Şengün is second along with DeLon Wright, is third on the team in assists at 2.4 and 1.9 respectively. Steals per game, this is the one I've mentioned before that surprises me. I'm averaging just over half a steal a game. DeLon Wright is averaging half a steal a game. That's who I thought would have been leading the team in steals. And I guess really Wright's steals are so impactful. Maybe that's what it is. His steals are impactful. He seems to make the better defensive play when you really need it. He has made some really key plays on some of the offensive juggernauts in the league. So even though Wright only has half a steal, I would say that he's obviously the better defensive player. And he's another one that's no longer on the Wizards, as I believe the Miami Heat were trying to sign him after the Wizards bought him out. But still, again, in our simulation, we get him at least until the rest of the season. Blocks per game, it is Daniel Gafford averaging 0.7 blocks. That is down from when we were on NBA 2K23. He was coming off the bench and was averaging nearly a block and a half. And that was really anchoring the bench unit's defense, because Kristaps Porzingis, who was the defensive player of the year in our simulation last season, was averaging over 2 blocks a game. So the Wizards as a whole were averaging almost 4 blocks a game. That was leading the league. And you had inside defensive presence no matter who was on the floor between Porzingis and Gafford, and that really helped the defense in terms for the Wizards. And we didn't have the smaller guards like Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole. Well, Poole's not tiny, but Jones is smaller. But you had you didn't have that last season with Monte Morris as your backup point guard in our simulation. Turnovers per game, yeah, we got to talk about that. I'm leading the league in turnovers, just under 2 a game. That is also obviously the number 1 mark here on the Wizards. Jordan Poole at over half a game is tied with Tyus Jones and Alperen Şengün in terms of who has the most turnovers outside of me. Fouls, I am leading the team in fouls, 1.7 fouls a game. Transition take fouls, I'm way ahead of everybody in the league, I'm sure. That's not a stat. It's not a stat up here, but I am 100% positive I am leading in that category, and probably the career leader in that as well, as I had several more of those last season on NBA 2K23. I've had a few this season, and again, probably way more than anyone else in the league, although it does feel like I get called for that way more than anyone else. And you've seen me complain in a few games where someone else gets that fouls in the front court or the back court, and they don't call it. It's always just on me. Now, field goals attempted, I had mentioned this, I average 16.9 a game. That's number 1 in the league. Actually down, I think, from last year where I was over 17. So, okay, I've improved a little, but I'm going to shoot. That's established. Kuzma's second on the team at 8.1. Şengün at 6.1. And then Jordan Poole, coming off the bench, is averaging 5.8 shots a game. Free throws attempted, Summerz leads the team in that category as well. And only Şengün has more than 1 free throw attempt a game outside of Summerz, and right now that number is second best in the league. Only Joel Embiid has more free throw attempts per game than Summerz. Free throw percentage right now of the players who are really playing, obviously Coulibaly is playing, not playing as much. And again, I hope that Unseld Jr. will play him more. I'm sure on NBA 2K25 he's going to get way more playing time. Muscala and Jaymont are shooting 100%, but they're not obviously getting as much playing time. Muscala, however, has played a little bit before we acquired Şengün, and when Daniel Gafford was injured, Muscala did play a lot, so his 100% is probably a little more legit, although he doesn't get fouled as much. But Summerz, among those who qualify, leads the league in free throw percentage at 94.6. I was at 95, but have been shooting free throws a little less efficient lately. So that's a little bit troubling, hoping to get that back on stride before the playoffs. 3-point percentage, again, Summerz is in the top 5 among the league leaders in 3-point percentage at 47.1. Right now, I think that is 3rd, and obviously Patrick Baldwin does not have enough attempts to qualify, but he has hit at least half of those that he has taken. Now, we talked about the turnovers earlier about one of the worst stats I have. Here's a stat that I've been leading since I've started the simulation, and that is points allowed. I am averaging 12.8 points allowed. I think that has come down a little bit, and it is down a little bit from NBA 2K23. So my goal on NBA 2K25 is to get that number way down. Wright is second in that category on the team at 6.3 points, but he faced a lot of dangerous wings. He was guarding, now not that Kyrie's a wing, but when we face the Mavericks, for example, I'm guarding Luka, he's guarding Kyrie. So that's obviously not easy to do. He was guarding Devin Booker when we played the Suns. So him giving up more points than anyone else on the team outside of me is not a shock. But me giving up 12.8 is easily leading the league, and yeah, that's a goal for next season to get that down. Plus minus, again, the number one number in the league, 8.4 plus minus for us. DeLon Wright is second there on the team at 7.1, and that is second in the league as well. Now, I just want to show this quick shot chart here, and this is our shooting percentage. And again, I know these are there's some high numbers in here. 445 shots at the goal there inside, 5 feet there, or inside the circle there. So you can see where we are shooting the ball well. We are 50% from deep on straight on from 3 and from the right wing, but only 40.1 from the left wing. Shooting from the corner at 45.2%. The right corner, we are over 50% from 3 at 52.3%. At the key, but not from 3-point straight on, 100%. Now, granted, we've only shot that ball 3 times there. And as you can see, shout out to Joe's Arcade, that some of those numbers in the mid-range, you've got 23 shots, 2, 3, 4, and 28 on the left side there, and even 59 shots a little closer at 44.1%. Not so great, but you can see on that right baseline, only 25.9%. So I've got to try to get better there. But overall, we are shooting the ball very, very good, very well, I think, for the season. Now, taking a look at what's going on next week. We start off today, later on today, hope to have you for that when we face the Chicago Bulls. Then we face the Nets on Wednesday, the Pistons on Friday, and then the Miami Heat. The Heat right now lead the season series with us 2-1. We did defeat Miami last time that we played them to finally break through, and that was 3 weeks ago on Sunday, 65-59, as you can see there on March 10th, just a 6-point victory. So if we want to get even up the series with the Heat, we will need the victory, and this game will be in DC. Keep in mind, as we talked about earlier, the Heat are the 3 seed right now. So that Heat game, we're going to do something special for that Heat game. We will do a Wizards-Heat post game, and then we will just go straight on in to the Season Long Podcast number 54, and we will do that live. So we'll talk about the game, what happened in the game, and that's going to be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern next Sunday. And again, that'll be Wizards-Heat post game. Hopefully we'll be talking about a win and not a season series loss to the Heat. And again, that game's in DC. And we'll just go right on into Season Long Podcast number 54. You know, we usually do the podcasts on Monday, but we'll do this one on Sunday, doing the post game and the podcast number 54. All of that will be live. Then on Wednesday, that Wednesday after Sunday, on April 3rd, Lakers will be visiting DC, and we will do that game live. That'll be another live stream at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Lakers at Wizards. And remember, in LA, the Lakers did defeat us, so they will be going for the season sweep. And right now, they are the 1 seed out west. So this could be a possible finals preview, maybe. So I hope to have you for both of those, and that looks like I'm really looking forward to that. It will be a lot of fun. So again, taking a quick look next week. Again, later today, we are playing the Bulls. I know we've played the Bulls a lot here, we played them 8 times last season. Now we're getting all of our matchups in with them now, it seems like really quickly. We've got the Nets on Wednesday. As a matter of fact, the Nets were our first live stream game back in November, and we got our first ever triple-double actually in that game. So far, our only triple-double as well. And then Friday, the Detroit Pistons, and we've played them quite a bit. We'll be going for the season sweep with the Pistons. And then the Heat on the 31st, next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, with the Season Long Podcast and the post game of the Heat and the Wizards. That's going to do it for Season Long Baller. Thank you for joining us as always. Don't forget that we also do these podcasts on Spotify, so you can hear the audio of these. It's really fun to do these and try to keep up with the entire league, and sometimes cover things that are not exactly happening in our simulation if it's not, kind of involving the Washington Wizards or our player Bill Jaymont Summerz directly. That's going to do it for Season Long Podcast number 53. Hope to see you all week as we're going to have these games again: Bulls, Nets, Pistons, and Heat. And you have a wonderful rest of the day. See you for Bulls. That's it for Season Long Baller.